Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vezos Habracha and Bereishis. I hope you had a wonderful Sukkot, which is coming rapidly to a close. This week's short Vort is going to be adapted from Rabbi Shimshon Pincus in Moadei Hashanah-Yom Kippur. And Rabbi Shimshon Pincus tragically died in a car crash in 2001. So on a topic from Yom Kippur, he talks about the pasuk in Devarim of Lamed Gimel Chaf Hey, where it says, Barzel unachoses min alecha. The iron or bronze or copper are your locks. So Rashi there says that it's talking about that the border towns of Eretz Yisrael, they had strong warriors there. And that way they were able to lock them, to protect the inner part of Etz Yisrael as if they were locks of iron and barzel. He discusses that on Yom Kippur, the Kutzker Rebbe would sometimes lock themselves in a room without windows or would have the windows closed. And of course, his Hasidim didn't want to be apart from him, but that was a necessary bodadis. And taking out from a larger chapter, I'm going to focus on a little bit where he talks about the need for us that barzel unachoshes min alecha, iron and bronze are your locks. That's a need for us to close ourselves within, away from society, from the external influences to the extent that we can. He says, and this is going back well more than 2 decades, that even the most innocent computer games or even a quick glance at the cleanest of headlines of a newspaper or minute casual listening to the news breaks down the whole seal that we've been working on since the Yom Noraim this year. He said that he once went to America and was talking to some Balabatim, and this connects to Bereishis. He said the Nisayon, the test of Adam Rishon, was not to eat from the Etz Hadaas, not to eat from the tree of knowledge. And he says, why is it called Eitz Hadaas? Why isn't it called Eitz Ha'Tumah or Eitz Avoda Zara? Something that sounds much worse than knowledge. She says the answer is that the deepest, darkest, and worst, the worst darkness is something that's comes from knowledge. The tree of knowledge is the desire to know everything, to get the last piece of news, to get the latest trends, the latest pleasures. And these are things that distract us from what we should be focusing on, which he says, of course, is a person needs to protect the purity of his neshama and work constantly to bring out the beauty inherent in the Holy Torah. And that when we davened on Yom Kippur, we said that let us seal ourselves for life, for a good life. He means placing ourselves under a double seal. And if anyone, just look around what's craziness now in society, it's so much worse than anything that I think that Rabbi Pincus could have imagined. Now, we can't completely seal ourselves off like the Kutzker can, but we need to focus on the Torah and Yiddishkeit and the great things that are in there. He says that even if someone is not up to learning or actively doing mitzvos, then it's better that he count the spots on the ceilings than to play quote unquote kosher games and the like. That's how terrible the exposure to the outside society is. Obviously, we need to do things like work, but we should be careful what we are and our children and our families are exposed to. And we should be zocha that if we do put these locks on, barzel nachosim min alecha, then we'll be zocha to, as he says in the pasuk, like your days of youth, so shall be the days of your old age. And may we zocha the last part of the Gemara Chasima Tova. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.